Hello, guys, and welcome. We are very, very pleased to present you the Season 4 SRA finale here at Cota, Circuit of the Americas. We are having a daytime quali and a nighttime race session. It's going to start in the late afternoon, run into the night, where you're going to be able to see all the dazzling lights here that they have at the circuit. It's going to be pretty cool, not for the drivers.
Oh,
They're
they're gonna
actually
be
going to be having
sweating.
they're going to be having a very miserable time. This track is known to make people lose whatever remaining hair they have left, and it's a brutal one. Kind of like the same situation that we had last week at Suzuka. If you don't have that perfect line through every corner, then you're going to mess up the next corner drastically.
Just an evolving
So
catastrophe.
yeah, it's very hard to keep the car straight at this track, and to do 60 minutes here is not going to be easy. Right now, the silver qualifying is out, but we have our sexy faces up here. Okay, for the first time ever, we have Jess Osborne.
Face
Okay,
reveal.
with the
Hello,
with the
hello.
face reveal,
Do I look like what you
looking
expected?
looking dazzling. See, when I first saw him, I said, you don't look like Link. I
Yeah, sorry.
expected
I
like the
wish I looked
blonde
like
hair
Link
with the
too.
pointy ears. I was
Disappointing.
pretty disappointed, really. Yeah.
But you get a
No, but
tunic anyway.
yeah, a little green carry on a sword.
You know what I'm
Yeah, I guess
surprised
you're.
to learn though is that Colin Shea looks strikingly like a comedian I know.
He's a
Can't put
funny
my
guy.
which one? I can't put my finger on it. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
staying real still right now. I'm
he,
talking
he-
with my mouth closed.
yeah, he likes airline peanuts. So maybe that strikes something for you. But
You know, this is the finale of the season, and I think the viewers want to see something even more exciting than our faces. Let's look at these team standings. How close is
ooh,
this?
it's juicy, guys. It's really juicy. So the team standings, as you can see, Grid Thieves Motorsports, they're looking really good right about now. If they can lock down some decent positions here, it looks like they're going to walk away with this. But I'm not counting out Pillars
Yeah,
Racing.
they are in striking range.
They are definitely in striking range. If the Grid Thieves boys have a bad race, then the Pillars Racing could definitely make something happen. And in third place, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. The team of Fazli Majid, and they're not too far. I don't know if it's really possible for them to do it. Maybe if they take home the 1-2 and everyone else um, just crashes out and gets 0 points, it's a possibility.
It's a
Um,
strong possibility with those drivers. Majid and Menning are
yeah,
some of the fastest on the grid.
they are very, very quick. So I wouldn't count any of these guys out. And to make it this far, really, and with this many points, is just amazing. I know that me and Jess were just talking about before the race here about how difficult the season has been,
Oh,
and
yes.
just how brutal it's been on both of us. I'd say we're both competent drivers, but neither of us have really been able to pull together a solid season here. A good race here and there, but nothing, to make a dent. The consistency that these drivers have in order to get to where they are in the standings is outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
And especially considering the division that they're in, you can't just be consistent and clean and cool. You have to also be super, super fast, consistent, clean, and cool the whole race.
And
Not
speaking
easy.
of individuals, let's take a look at the driver standings for this. Hopefully, before Silver Division finishes, Diego, it looks like he's just about walked away with it, right? What's the situation
Y-
here? He's got a 50-point lead, right?
Well, it, it looks like to me that Diego has this one on lock, but maybe
Congratulations,
if
first
a
and foremost.
UFO comes onto the track and sucks him up and then takes all of his points with him, there's a possibility that Michael Menning could take it away. But from what it was looking like to us before, the drop race is going to come in huge for him. So if he gets anything less than 76 points, well, his next worst race is 76 points. So it looks like he's going to take this. But that's like I said, the amount of work that Michael Manning and James Riley and everyone else on here has put in is just outstanding. But to show you how dominant Diego has been this season, he has double the points of Don Bellinger in ninth place. Another just
What a spread.
outstandingly fast driver. But he's just it's hard to compete with Diego. He's just been making this racing thing look easy. It's a little, you try to show your wives and your girlfriends this is what we do, and then Diego's out there. It's like, why can't you be as fast as him? Well, he's just an alien.
Let's
Okay,
stop it, Diego.
he was born in a sim rig. Okay,
So given
but
that, it looks like our gold podium's probably isn't going to shift. What about silver?
for silver, Colin, you're gonna have some more info on that.
Yeah, so it's Chris Stefik now in P1 for silver.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe, if I can get back to it real quick, it
Some
is
Matt
Matthew
Shorts.
Swartz in P2, 3 points down. And then Victor Diaz is P3 with 29 points down. So
Yeah.
there's a fair fight for P1 here and switching up the top 3 as they're qualifying right now. So we'll see where those guys all end up through qualifying would be huge.
We can probably watch some of these guys qualify while we're continuing talking about the standings here. But yeah, Chris Steffiak and Matt Schwartz, two outstanding drivers on the same team, driving the same car, only 3 point spread. That's pretty good. I
So I have
I
an
don't.
update in chat involving our D1 Gold race for the top spot and even the team. No Menning tonight, Tricky Cow says.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, no Menning tonight. Also, Mad Moses, I believe that's Chris Moses, is not going to be racing with us tonight, but he did raid us with a party of 14. So I
oh,
appreciate that. I'm
nice.
thank you,
not
thank you.
100% sure. Yeah, what is
Thanks,
that?
Chris.
Can I ask, just for my knowledge?
It's like when you end your stream and there's another stream going on, you can just pop everyone else over into your stream. So
Thanks for the
Oh,
thank you so
exposure.
awesome.
much,
Thank
Chris. Unfortunately, you couldn't be here tonight, but we look forward to seeing you next season, man. Yeah.
Gentle,
So
not gentle nudge to all of our drivers who are, part-time streamers. You better be hosting SRA when you're not streaming.
yeah, I mean, come on. You see the SRA stream go up. It's just step aside, okay? The professionals have arrived, okay? But seriously, all the community engagement that we get here is amazing and very humbling, guys. So thank you for shouting us out to your friends and family. It's been awesome hosting for you guys this season, and we're definitely looking forward to hosting for next season as well.
Yeah, have a lot of fun with it.
But these silver drivers are out right now. Let's take a look at what's going on with them. Nick San, who currently has it in first place right now with a 206.5. Looking really good right now. Evan Kim, who I'm on board with a 206.9. He was 2/10 up on his time, lost it all in that corner right there, but don't count him out. I think he's got a little bit more time left in him. But, an outstanding lap from him. I know he wasn't feeling all that much confidence in the race, and we had some trouble together during the practice race, but that's what those are for, and hopefully he's got all those bugs shooken
Shake it
out of
out.
him. Matt Shorts, who is second for the silver standings, is looking pretty solid right now with a 207.1. In fourth place, B. Anderson is with a 207.0. A. Anderson, got to mention him. If you mention one, you gotta include the other.
Oh, of course.
He's sitting in 8th place right now, but I know he's got some more time in him in that 94 Porsche. I'm going to switch him right here in the picture-in-picture with a 207.3. Daehee Yun, resident sexy man, looking real fine out there
Software wizard.
with a software wizard.
Management
just-
admin icon.
Master.
He's sitting out there with a 207.2.
Also, just the
and I think-
nicest guy.
Just a nice guy. What's up with that, huh? You got to get a little mean. You got to crack the whip a couple times.
Yeah,
maybe,
right?
Okay? Especially on folks like me. Okay.
Ooh,
he's
Eric
sitting out there
Boardman.
with a
who had a very strong sector 1, was on track to swipe P1 provisional pole off Nick Sand, just lost it. So one more chance. Wait, sorry, you were gonna say?
No, knocked Evan Kim down to 3rd place, but he's looking up on his time right now. 2/10 up, looking at 3/10 up, maybe not. Oh, and he
Croat looks like he can
invalidates.
hold 2nd up on his time now. This would put him in pole all the way from P9 if he gets this lap
Oh, it's
done.
huge. He's looking at. Yeah, you're right. He just has to bring it home.
Yeah, he's on track
got
for
it.
2:06.3.
But looking at Evan Kim's,
Boom.
there we go, P1 from a Croat. Nice.
Very nice.
But looking at Evan Kim's invalidation, that brings us to one of the big points of this track right here. It is very easy to invalidate. And, you know, like I was saying before, if you don't get that line perfect all the way through the track, it can be pretty detrimental towards that next corner that's coming up. So you have to maintain this perfect flow through the track, and it is very unforgiving with the invalidations and the drive-throughs and warnings and whatnot. It's going to make a lot of people want to bash their head against their wheel.
Yeah, I wouldn't
until
know
their
anything
wheel is
about
square.
that. Not because I'm a perfect good boy that doesn't ever cross track limits, even though that's true, but because I have absolutely no practice around here. I don't know anything about this track, other than it's a little painful. Of 10 laps I've done.
One thing I'm noticing, why do like the people in the grandstands look like disturbingly high resolution?
Don't look at the grandstanders in the eyes. Don't look.
Don't make fun of our fans, Paulette.
I'm sorry,
They're
man.
coming out to
okay?
support our drivers. We can't make fun of them.
Look, I'm loyal to the people on the broadcast. I'm not loyal to the schmucks in the stand, okay? They're giving me the funny eye up here, okay?
Nick Sand
where's the
looks like
flags?
he's on track to maybe take oh, and he's losing it the moment I say his name. He loses 1/10. Trying to get back P1.
Yeah.
It's not far off.
There's that invalidation. It's brutal out here. Evan Kim looking real good right about now. 2/10 up, and he loses it in that corner. Now a 1/10.5 up. Continue to lose time down the straight. I'm going to click off at him. Daehee Yun. Like I said, he's got more time in him, and he just
Boom,
rockets right up to
P3.
3rd place with a 2:06.5.
Very nice.
Man, he was 7/10 up on that time right there. Really good. McCrow, I
He
believe, just set
furthers
another
his
good time.
advantage.
Yep. Now with the 2:06.1. These are crazy times coming out of D1 Silver, I gotta say. Oof.
Max Sanchez peeling a whole second off of his first sector. That would gain him 3 spots. I'm sure he can find more. And he is.
So with 20 seconds left now for these silver drivers, they're going to be going fast across the line to get that one last lap. And one thing I do want to point out, our silver leader right now, Chris Stefiak, is in the pits without a lap. So I'm unsure what's that about, but our leader for silver will be starting from the back today.
Strange.
Who's not starting from the back is Jay Allen, who's the 2nd up on his time. I have him on the interior cam here in the picture-in-picture. He's looking real good out there in that number 15 Ferrari. He's our steward and bachelor expert extraordinaire. If you watch The Bachelor, he will have a great time talking about that with you. Yeah.
You see, I should have done my research. Chris Stefiak actually has a quali ban.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that will
And
do it.
Jason Allen's crossed the line the whole second up and snags P12.
It's only a 1 position gain, but he is way closer in time now. That is
Here
the end
comes
of the silver
Sanchez.
qualifying there.
Oh, and he just invalidates Sanchez on his last lap there. He was way up on that time.
Right before the line, too. That's got to feel real bad. But on to the gold drivers. Taking a look at Douglas Mitchell here in the picture-in-picture as he runs clear wide.
Can't park this, huh?
No, that's not where the track is. Doug has been having a little difficulty finding out where the track is this season. Not doing well. He's a two-time champion, and I can rag on him, okay, because he's an admin here. So you get absolutely no grief or no
Mercy.
respite from no mercy. There you go. Can't think of words right now. But sitting in 40th position, two-time SRA champion. Won the first and second season. Had to do it before he let all the fast guys in.
Right? That's exactly what
yeah.
happened.
So now that all the real competitors have shown up, he's shown his colors. But we're gonna see what he has for us today. But in all seriousness, Doug is a very fast driver. Just hasn't had the greatest of luck this season, with some bad luck in the lap ones and whatnot. But let's see what he can put down tonight. Who is looking out for the championship? Where's Diego? Here he is. Looking at Diego in the picture-in-picture here. And he's got that blue Porsche whipping around at number 95. I don't know how he hasn't invalidated. I swear 4 tires across the line, but he's just that 10/10ths kind of guy. So he's going to squeeze every millisecond out of this track. I guarantee that. I believe last week he was saying that he felt pretty confident coming into here. He felt like he knew the track reasonably well from other experience driving other cars. Wasn't quite familiar in the GT3 series or in the Porsche he's driving now. But so far, he's looking really clean. I guarantee you he's put in a lot of practice to make sure that he holds that title.
Definitely a track where a lot of practice pays off. The track limits here are very tricky. You'll see it throughout the race, and us commentators are going to keep talking about it because it really is that big of a deal. There are times here where you touch the white line, that is the limit, and you will get a track cut. As for other tracks, you can extend the curb fully. So coming here and getting some laps in and practicing it out really does a lot for you here.
Dromo is about to round the last corner to put in his banker. Going to be expected to be pretty good. E5, pretty good. Oh, and Dominic Duran invalidates his lap before he can finish it.
Here comes Diego through the last corner here, and he sets
where's my
an
pip?
instant P1 with a 2:05.8. Where?
Never mind.
What do you mean, where's your pip? Okay.
It keeps going away.
Oh, it's gone, Paul. Oh, it's back.
Oh gosh.
We're fine now.
All the work fruitless.
Diego takes P1.
Yeah, takes P1 with a 2:05.8 and instantly, like the first 20 seconds in the lap, and he's 2/10 up on his time. Just a machine out there.
That's insane.
I genuinely think they need to put him in
P3.
another division.
What a great banker right there. And Lehman comes around for his.
Like we've said many times during the streams here, the fast laps don't even really come until like the final 2 minutes here. So people are just getting their feet wet right about now. Testing out the track, getting bankers in just so they don't wind up in the last.
And Lehman's does a good job getting them P2.
I think we should also keep an eye on Riley because the last time I checked, he was the top of the SRA Hot Lap leaderboard with a 2:05.5. So I'm interested. He is without a lap currently, and he's on an invalid lap now. So I'm interested to see what he pulls out here in qualifying.
On Durant's
and if you wanted to check out our Hot Lap leaderboard, you can look it up at simracing.com. It's a great website. Has everything listed out there for us. It is very easy to navigate.
That'd be simracingalliance.com. But yeah, that is a fantastic website put up by Al Latufo.
What a king.
They did a fantastic job with that. Even if you're not racing with us, just check it out. I mean, and just admire how beautiful it is. And if you do see the website and you like what you see, you say, that's a good website. I wonder how good the racing is and how good the rest of everything is. Well, I encourage you to look in our description and click on the link of discord.gg/simracingalliance. And join us there and sign up for our Season 5. We are still actively recruiting more drivers for Season 5. It's going to be a crazy one. Recruiting 2 additional divisions. And it's looking like the competition's already going to be very fierce. So get in there now while you still can. I guarantee you're going to have a great time. One of the best communities in North America for sim racing here in ACC.
Oh my goodness, Felipe Vicini nearly snagged provisional pole off of Diego, and he's off by 100. And now Matt Lehman, he snags off both of them with
Lehman.
3/10 to spare.
That's the fastest time I've seen here, 2:05.4.
Yeah,
And
that's,
Durance was up hugely on his lap and just invalidated straight to the pits, in and out. Get back out there, buddy.
that's
in
esports
chat
times
right now,
there.
In chat right now, Pretty Saucy told us is telling us that James Riley is having massive internet issues right now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we're hoping he can figure that out.
I saw him glitching around a little bit. I'm sure everybody saw on stream.
Man.
But Matt Lehman is pulling out another 3/10 so far out of Sector 1 and 2, and he's losing it though. Right as I say his name, down to 0.
Yeah, commentator's curse affects you in qualifying too. It's not just the race.
It's like happening before like my audio can possibly be reaching his ears and the effect getting back to me. So it's got to be quantum at some level, right? They're all entangled.
Nordstrom right now is coming through the last couple turns of the track here. 4/10 up on his time.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Gonna put him up good few positions.
That'll get
He'll be
3 or
happy
4.
with that. Travis Nordstrom, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no! And he just invalidates right there, really close to the line.
Dominic Duran
That's
snagging
unfortunate.
P4. 10th and a half off of P3.
But Travis Nordstrom had a very unfortunate lap 1 incident at Suzuka last week. That was a crazy one. Rocketed right across the track. Brutal. Suzuka was a tough one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it was one of our rain races, and that was not easy.
Doug Mitchell up 6/10 right now. That's good enough for 1 position, but now every 10th more than that's going to get him a whole other 8/10. That's 7/10. Oh, and he throws it away. No.
At the very last corner.
Oh, he nearly had 2 or 3 positions right there. So close. And it's all in Sector 1. Already he's up 7/10. But his problem is clearly the first and last corner. No stress. No stress at all.
Nordstrom up 4/10 on his time. Kinger is up 2/10. Cleansing is up 1/10 and a half. And Dromo is just starting his lap, already 1.5 up. Nordstrom losing a little bit of time there, but Cleansing is picking it back up where he left off. Now 3/10 up on his time. He's going to be really happy with this one. This is gonna put him in the top 5 if he can bring this home. I believe. No, it'll bring him in the top like 7. Still more time to be had here in the last couple of turns. Looking at 4/10 now.
Nordstrom's got, and he had 3/10 in hand. That would have been enough. Quite a bit, and slipped through his fingers. And he find it in the last 2 corners. Down 2/10. He's gonna want more than that.
Cleansing losing a little bit of time, sliding the tires a little bit, unfortunately. Gotta bring it home nice and safe through these last couple of corners here.
And it's 2 spots for Nordstrom, up to P6. For Cleansing, finding 4/10. He's nailing the last corner. Oh, and no, he scrubs too much. Too much speed and throws it all away.
But that does bring him into the top 10, so can't be too mad at that. Cleansing hadn't had the best season so far, so it's good to see him get a top 10 where he belongs. Provisional.
Well, let's see. Dromo might edge him out right now. He's got 4/10 up.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's going to do it. That'll put him in the top 6. Just has to nail the last corner. Boy, he's a little eager on the throttle, I think. But it's good. It's good. P8. Very nice from Dromo.
Nice.
Great lap for him.
Durant isn't going to let it go, though. He's found 4/10. That's plenty to edge out Dromo and plenty more. I'm a flyer if he can keep that Porsche pointed straight. Oh, and he's losing a little time. Finding it, his delta is like a I don't even have a descriptor for it. Oh, but he's up huge. He gets edged out to P8, but P5 for Durant's. Very quick
Just
lap.
making our job hard right behind Durant. Two
Yeah, I
very
know.
similar names.
I think we need to have like a name that you can choose drastically different from everyone else. No more A. Andersons, no more B. Andersons, no more Duran and Durances.
I think James Riley might have given his PC a good kick because his connection looks good in the HUD now, and he's up. He's driving.
Hey, Paul, hey, Jess, can I ask either one of you to go on board so the viewers can get a look at how steep this turn 1 is?
Sure.
And what these drivers are getting prepared to break into?
Yeah, let's go with James Riley. He's about to round the last corner. I've got him on.
Notice these softest curves out on the outside here. Very vicious if you hit those. There's actually a clip of open wheel driver break.
James Riley is banker.
Great lap.
A scorcher. And now he goes to find more. Let's watch.
Going up the hill here. Yeah, I also want to point out, just look how fast he's going to clear it, how much speed and how fast he can go through these S's here.
Scary to me. Oh, that's where I'd be puckering right there. I hate those bumps.
Yeah, it's a tricky section of the track right there.
Not phasing James though, he's 1/10 up. That'll be enough for 2 spots. It'll be P2 if he can bring this home.
Matt Lehman making sure that he does not get that P1. He's up 3/10 up on his time on one of the fastest times I've ever seen around this track. Loses it a little bit there, but he's still up on his delta. Just an absolute machine out there.
We're coming up on the 30-second mark.
Oh, and James is losing his time. He's in the red now. He wants to improve. He's got to find it in the last sector.
Everyone's getting those risky last-minute flyers in here. Everyone hopefully got the time that they wanted to get, and is now trying to get those 10/10 out of the track here.
As the clock hits 0, this will be Riley's last lap. Will he gain it here in this last corner? On throttle.
What?
Doesn't look like
he
it.
loses it.
Nope.
Oh, well, maybe he lost them. It was the wrong time to pull the TV cam. James, you just
Yeah, he
gave me
did
a
not
loop.
improve. He did not improve there. He was
So he threw
very
it away,
close.
right? Well, Matt Lehman's improving.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and he hits the curbs.
Oh, and he throws it all away. No improvement, but it doesn't
No-
matter. He's still
no
P1,
improvement.
and nobody has time to contest him. So, that'll do it.
That's qualifying, folks.
Yeah, that's it.
We're about to
So
have
that's
our finale.
Yes, that's going to be Matt Lehman, P1. Diego Fimbres Casas, P2. Vicini, P3. I don't know if I remember Vicini's first name. I'll have to get back to
Felipe?
you on that one in a second. Felipe. I apologize, Felipe.
Showing us how to enter the pits with style.
Congrats to those 3 drivers for the gold class, and our silver class. Top 3 are going to be McCrow, San, and Yun.
And now we do our
Well,
track walk, or our grid walk, excuse me.
all right. See if I can
Yeah,
get
and this
down.
haven't even mentioned it. This race, it's at 8 p.m. So we're gonna be going into the night here. We get to watch the sunset, and yeah, season finale. We all get to sit here and watch the sunset cruise.
Look at this. Teammates start next to each other on the grid. We love to see it.
And once again, like we've shouted out many times here on the streams, most of these liveries are custom made. So big shout out to these folks, and thank you for participating in our theme this season, which was retro, or throwback rather. Next season, we're doing a little bit of an interesting one. We're doing holiday. So take that with whatever you want to go with. Whatever holiday is your favorite as we're going into the holiday season, and make a cool livery. And you're going to get to see it on track with you for the rest of the season in the streams. Get to brag to all your friends. Your girlfriend will roll her eyes that you spent 6 hours making it. But it'll be a great
True.
time. It'll be a great time.
Hey, Paul, check your screen out. I see the PIP grayed out on Twitch.
Yeah, it keeps doing that. One sec.
I haven't a clue as to why.
I wonder if it's because I have it off screen and Discord tries to save resources because it's stupid.
That's a distinct possibility.
I'll try and keep an eye on it. There we go. Oh, you're doing an actual track walk.
Here's turn one, guys. And,
Oh gosh.
oh, Jesus. The drivers are dropping their cars. They really need to make this not middle mouse button. It's pretty bad.
I don't believe we have anybody starting from the pits today.
You go take a look. Double check.
Yeah, go fly over there, Paul.
Oh, I'm going. No one in the pits. No one in the pits tonight.
Yet.
That's good. Well, yeah. Hopefully they're only going to be in the pits for their allotted pit time. But knowing this track, going to be a lot of drive-throughs.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start it off now in chat. I want to guess what do we think SRA Division 1, how many drive-throughs are we going to get up to?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Total?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little light, Jess. I was thinking,
so?
I think one driver alone might be able to get 4 or 5. that's what I'm
Oh my
thinking.
goodness.
One
Very unlucky driver. If I got 3, I think I would just halt up for the game.
Yep,
So
I would. It'd be a game over, man.
If someone can sit here and do 4 drive-throughs, then I give them a lot of props. They got a lot more patience than I do.
Isn't there actually a something with ACC that after a certain amount of track limits you just get disqualified?
I'm not sure. Probably. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm a good boy.
Looking at that sunset there in the picture-in-picture. Look at that.
Yeah, and this
All
game
pretty.
gorgeous. Anybody have the weather?
It's, cloudy with a chance of meatballs? Possibly. I don't know. You would
Track
have the
temps
weather.
looking like 21 degrees, and it looks like we're partly cloudy. Well, I guess in the game there's no clouds. Oh, over there on the left I see one. But for the most part, one cloud. So there's one cloud and a lot of sun, and blue skies, blue and pink skies.
Oh man,
Look at all
the
those Porsches.
anticipation right now is killing me. This is what everyone here has been working for all season long for this track, this misery.
Kick him in the
This is
ass.
8
at the
weeks
end.
of racing. This is the complete of 8 weeks of racing.
Yep. And everyone, they may not be vying for the championship, which I think we could see pretty much from the onset that Diego was going to just sweep everyone's legs out from under him and just take it for himself. But there's a lot of people who are competing for their own personal goals out here, and so there's going to be a lot of very vicious racing out here. It's going to be very exciting to see how this all pans out.
So after this left, you see these cars going through now. There's this hairpin. There's sausage curbs right there on the right. There was an open wheel driver who drove over those, who went wide on a turn, and she drove over those curbs, flung her car up in the down and broke her back.
Ooh.
Yeah, horrible, horrible.
Yeah.
With that being said, although we are not actually physically in the car, it will break your car if you go over those curbs.
It will launch you right up in the air and make you wish that you broke your back. Well, maybe not, but it's brutal. It'll completely throw your car off. Not
Yeah,
much you
and
can
those
do about
sausage
it.
curbs are littered, especially on the
Hey,
last
can I
corner.
get my
Oh,
pit
and
back? You minimized the.
I did not minimize. Everything is here
well, we're lined up here on the straight.
now.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Well,
Lights
we're
out.
off and away for SRA.
As we head in
Drivers.
here into turn 1. Double
Nothing.
wide, really close, trying to get this left uphill. It looks clean. Still going double.
Stallworth, the back
Oh,
of the
Stallworth
field.
close back.
But
A couple of
Ficini
drivers
takes
take the turn wide.
a spot off Diego immediately for P2.
A lot of drivers and swapping positions right now. Evan Kim loses a place to B. Anderson. A couple drivers gained some positions from some people that may have gotten knocked back a little bit. Everyone took that first turn a little bit wide, trying to avoid the pileup that happens on the inside here. That T1 is very easy to get thrown off and just get launched, even if you do everything correctly. But these drivers are here coming up to the straightaway. Everyone is just looking inside, looking outside, as everyone's going to try to line up with each other now, getting that draft going, seeing if they can make up any positions. Everyone's being very, very cautious here, which is great to see. I was expecting a lot more carnage happening through the S's because it's very hard to see what you're doing through there. You just have to trust that the driver in front of you is on the right line.
And we get a little bit of a
B.
bump
Anderson.
between Yoon and Boardman. And Anderson tucks ahead, says thank you very much.
Yeah, Anderson and Evan Kim, and Douglas is in trying to go around Yun as well. On the outside, Yun has the inside line.
Oh,
He looks out in front. Doesn't completely close the door off. Doug tries to stick his nose there. Young sticks it on the outside.
Oh, and the
Now,
McLaren and the
difference
Honda
between
come
Victor.
together. They keep it
Vic-
pointed straight and make it through.
That's-
And the Honda is slower, or excuse me, the McLaren comes out slower forward. Now he's in the clutches of, who is that? Josh Damian. Ooh, we nearly come together again. He's getting feisty in
Man.
here.
Damiani Schwartz and the Porsche's D-stack there.
But another dive by Josh, and he gets the job done around Stack on the last corner. That was an exciting Sector 3. What a move.
And I think we're not done yet.
We're
Wait
not,
for turn
and
one.
you might have been right. We already have a drive-through from the first lap, Grant cleansing. But yeah, we might, my 5 or 6 might have been very low.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably 10. So put that one on the counter there, Colin.
Yep,
Mark that one on your
unfortunately
board.
do have and unfortunately I think that was something with the start there for cleansing. I saw it was mentioned in chat and I forgot to say something out loud because of
Out
all
of
the
position
action
on
happening.
start. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can get back on track and make something happen. He's got that straight line speed with that Audi, so maybe there's something he can do. These front runners here seem to be taking it single file, nice and easy. Maybe people might be trying to play this one out like an endurance race. Just stay on the track.
Oh,
and
we have
wait for the other
chaos.
guy to
We have a
mess up.
parking lot
Oh no!
That's the
between
wrong
Jeffrey,
way.
Schwartz, Damiani, and Anderson. Let me catch what happened here.
You
Oh,
can't
wow.
park there.
Oh, so it looks like the McLaren punts the
Oh,
Honda around,
big
and everybody
fill
drives
up.
into them. And
Hmm.
we got a literal parking lot. What we're left with. I
Not a
think
good way.
from what I caught, it looks like Damiani gave Schwartz a little tap.
Victor Diaz getting by Stack. Number 19 McLaren looking really good out there today. Had a little bit of bump with Doug early on, trying to stick his nose in, but he's trying to recover. A little bit of a gap in front of him here, but still a lot of time in this race left to make it up.
Don't punt.
We're on board with Riley now. That's Fimbres Costas behind him. There it goes. It just updated. It's the Porsche. Fimbres Costas behind him. Looking up the inside. Decides not going up into turn 1. Real close there. But great driving here as we go through the S's. This is a real great angle there. That really showed how the Porsche was moving.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Lehman is off. And Vicini takes P1 off of him, and Lehman is now getting swallowed up by Riley and Diego. Oh, he's
Riley
right
on
in
the
their
outside
clutches.
here. Now Riley's on the inside. Lehman's still in a bad spot here as Fimbres Costas starts making a move. Matt Lehman holds it off.
Well, that
Them
was
go
a
off the
nail
track
biter.
a little bit here. Yeah, and you got to wonder when you're making racing moves like that and you just dip a tire off the track, is that going to be enough for a penalty or a warning? It's always a thought in your mind at this track here because it's so unforgiving. I swear sometimes it's even if you think it's no time gained, which should not be a warning given, it'll give it to you anyway here, just because the positions that they're watching on track are just in spots where it's impossible not to have time gained.
That's Sanchez and Allen going side by side for a moment on the back straight. I think, nope. Is there a send? Not quite. Trying to stay out of the back of him. He has to go deep into it. That allows Chris Steffieg take the spot right off of him.
Looking at the picture-in-picture here, Sand, Nordstrom, and McCrow all locked in a really good battle right here, almost side by side with each other, going through this last sector here.
Oh no! Chris Steffieg gets a little punterino. Catch that again from his POV. Check his wing. How bad was the Doc? Oh! I'm not sure did he.
Couldn't quite
I
see
think
what
he
happened
sent
there
it.
from that
Yeah,
angle.
I think
yeah,
he
I think
sent
he
it
was
and got
making
a
a move,
cutback.
but yeah.
The guy in front of him probably tapped him on the inside.
And that's not where you want to be when you're looking at the Silver Championship, so hopefully he can recover.
Oh, sir, what a
He's-
disaster. But
he's
meanwhile, you got a
gotta-
Porsche going nearly side by side with you in the pip. Who is that?
In the pip, we have Nick Sand, Kinger, who I'm on board with, Nordstrom, and McCrow, all battling it out really hard here for 7th place. Boardman not too far behind either, only 4/10. So this has been a pretty close battle I've been watching here. But Chris Steffieg, for reference, following along at home, he's got to beat out his teammate, Matt Schwartz. He's also got to beat out Victor Diaz. So he can definitely lose this championship here if he's not careful.
Oh, and Damiani's yellow flagged and off track and doing donuts. Are you celebrating now, sir?
That's never one.
Like he lost 4 positions for that. A shame.
He's just happy to be here in the season finale. Okay.
He's just happy not to be fined.
That's how much fun we have here at SRA.
Damiani was a D2 transplant, won the championship last season handedly. He was looking really good out there, but moving up to these D1 folks, it's been really difficult for him. Switching into a new car and trying to find the limits with that all in one season is just not an easy thing to do for him, or really anyone, but he's out here making the best of it. Still a tight battle here. Kinger right on the back of Sand, 3/10 off. Nordstrom has broken away a little bit from them, and McCrow has broken away a little bit as well. Still a tight battle going through the last couple of turns here.
So Vicini in P1 has started to drive away with it. He's pulled out a comfortable 3-second gap. And
Right.
P2, 3, and 4 were fighting pretty closely, but yeah, that second pair fell off. Second and a half gap or so. And I think that was from an ambitious dive bomb by a Porsche. Caused the BMW to slow down and fall back.
Kinger just overtook San as San hit one of those infamous sausage curbs, and unfortunately lost him a position there. It's pretty brutal. You can still be within track limits and hit those sausage curbs, as he completely skips over one of the S's here. So he's got to regain focus here, get control of that car, and there's a lot more of the race left here. He's in 10th place.
Battle for P2 is gonna be interesting. Riley, Lehman, Firmus Cross is right behind, and Duran not far back. They're gonna have to make a decision here. If they want to fight it out, P1 might just run away with it, and that's huge for Vicini. He's up 2 spots from his starting position. Riley up 2 spots.
Evan Kim looking
Anderson's
to make
up
moves right
4.
now. Yeah, against B. Anderson. He was just 10th off. Now he's falling back just a little bit on the straight here to 4/10 off, but not too far behind. Still can make something happen if he's smart with the brakes. McLaren not known for its braking prowess, however.
Is it better
Douglas
than the
Mitchell.
Lamborghini?
I don't know. I can't say. If we had Aiden Grover in here, I'm sure he'd be hyping up the prowess of the Lamborghini brakes. Douglas Mitchell, though, doing pretty well so far. Daehee Yun right behind him, sitting in 14th place.
Yeah, Douglas is up actually 5 spots currently, so he's having a great start of this race.
Maybe all that smack talk against him has gotten to him. He says, all right. No, now even the commentators are commenting on me. Okay.
Little fire from under him.
Jason Allen looking real good, too. He's side by side.
Ooh, Matt Lehman
with,
going deep.
Sanchez.
That nearly allows the Porsche of Diego through. What color scheme is that again? Is that Diva or some Overwatch character? This is the teal and blue.
I'm not
pink and blue.
familiar.
Oh, and we have a little bit of
Uh-oh,
carnage here
Sanchez.
as Sanchez and Stallworth get into it a little bit here. Looks like Stallworth made it by, or was that Jay Allen?
Catch the
My
replay right
apologies.
now. They're going side by side. Oh, and the Ferrari tries to turn in the Honda. The Porsche rear ends the Ferrari to boot.
Well, this is an interesting battle that just shaped up here. Stefiak and Sanchez duking it out. Honda v Honda violence happening right here. 5/10 off. Sanchez is trying to hold down this position.
Look at how close this fight for P2 still is. Oh, we're making moves. Matt Lehman thinking about the inside. Looks like the door is left open for him. And it is, and he takes it.
Wheel to wheel here. Firmus Cross is ready to strike. Firmus
Oh,
Cross
and
is
they're
up
trying to
inside.
go
Lehman
3 into
attacks
1.
him.
Oh, and the Ferrari keeps
Lehman
it. He keeps the rear end under control.
Yeah, Lehman
He's still in the
maintained control
train.
Stack and Yun side by side right now, just swapping positions back and forth. Looks like Yun is going to come out with the upper hand on this, taking the inside here. Stack forced to try to cross over. Can't make anything happen. Has to run the corner a little bit wide here, but he's got a good angle coming into the next one. Can't make a run on it. Daehee keeps that position.
That earlier incident on the main screen, that was Riley going from P2 to P5. And if you also notice in P20, Max Sanchez has gotten a drive-through.
Yes, he
That is
has.
the second one of the race, and we are 13 minutes in.
That's not good for Sanchez either. Also, as he's sliding across the track here,
Ooh.
as I catch it, that might be self-inflicted damage right there, doing that to him. And it appears so. He caught the inside curb, and he just didn't get the car broke and settled in time. And he's backwards. Sanchez going into the pits now to serve that drive-through.
Fimbres Costas is back putting pressure on Lehman here.
Damiani wheeling that car right now to try to catch up with the pack. He's got a little ways off, but he can have a party for one back there. Love
So
you,
with all this
Damiani.
happening in between positions P2 and P5, Vicini is now 5 seconds up.
We will
Sand
now
and
be
Kinger.
keeping track of how many drive-throughs we get.
Sand and Kinger going back at it again here for P9. Sand is caught back up to him. And now they're currently 3/10 off from each other. Another great battle that's happening on right now is Evan Kim and the Lamborghini of B. Anderson. Evan tries to get side by side, can't make anything happen. Now under immediate pressure from Douglas Mitchell as he comes up behind. Evan tries to get on the inside here. Once again, can't make anything happen. He's got to follow him through this section here. He's looking out like he wants something to happen here. Lamborghini runs a little bit wide, can't bring it in quite tight enough for the next corner here. So he's going to lose a little bit of speed.
Oh, and he's finding
once
it
again,
all over his rear end again.
Yep, Evan Kim right back on him. Douglas Mitchell also keeping the pressure on Evan. And there's a solid train going down the front straight there. Douglas looking at the inside. I'm going to hop on the passenger with Doug here as they go through T1. Evan giving him plenty of room. Very difficult in that turn to give people room. It's hard to judge about how close people are to the curb. But he does a great job. Doug, unfortunately, having to lose some speed there to keep control of the car. Evan still right on the back of that white and black Lamborghini.
Flying through those S's right there.
He's looking real good today.
Oh, and Allen yellow flagged and off track. Losing a position for it too.
Looks like Doug took the proper line through those couple of turns here, and Evan maybe not so much. Losing a little bit of time out to the Lamborghini in front. Doug catches back up to the pack here.
Oh, and Kim's got the switchback.
Yep. Kim is looking to
About
get
to
side
overlap
by side with this.
for the left-hander. He's got the inside, but he doesn't. Does he have the speed? Does he have the speed?
Well,
He does not.
has
He's
to
got to
tuck
tuck
back in.
back in.
Back in.
Oh,
Goes back out for the inside move. Late on the brakes. Douglas on his right side.
Oh, and
It's like everybody
Durant's
stayed
yellow
position.
flagged and off. Oh, and somebody else off too. I'm gonna catch what happened here.
that's McCroat who's off here.
What
That was
happened?
the leader for the silver division.
Oh, Porsche behind him just misses his braking spot. Sends him around. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Sand and King are still going at it pretty hard here. They got side by side for a moment. Sand having to tuck back in and losing a little bit of time trying to find that move. Late on the brakes here, using that Porsche strong suit. Not really going to be able to make much happen here on the straight, but if he can keep the stability on a late break through T1, which is very easy to upset your car, and use the Porsche advantage here, he might be able to gain some of that time back. Coming in for a late apex, trying to cross him up, can't make anything happen there because of that bump on the inside, and they have to continue single file through here the S's.
Well, it felt like just a lap and a half ago or so, I was talking about how Vicini had a 5-second gap. That gap is now down to under 3 seconds.
Lehman took off the training weights.
Yeah, he's 2.5 seconds gap from the lead right now, and Fimbres Costas is just over a second behind Lehman, so he got himself some room from that Porsche behind him and closing in on a Ferrari in front of him.
Yep. And Sand looking up the inside there. Not much he can do.
This is Riley here, following Duran.
Only 2/10 between the two.
I believe the sun is set at this point. So now we're going to be getting to the interesting part. It's going to get darker very rapidly here. and the tires are going to get colder and colder. So we're going to hope that these folks have set the correct tire pressures so they weren't too hot on the ride out and aren't going to be too cold and under pressured on the ride in. But very crucial that you get that right in one of these day to night races like this. Sand unfortunately falling off the back of Kinger just a little bit here. We're going to come back to that fight. Sanchez
What's he
still
doing there?
chilling in pits.
Oh, probably his drive-through. He had a couple laps to serve it, right?
Well, I thought he served it. Maybe he's repairing damage at this point. He
Oh,
dropped the
nice.
car and now he's still sitting still. Maybe he's calling this one.
I would. He's a minute behind the next driver.
Yeah, brutal. Like we said, folks, very brutal track.
Oh,
As Evan
Kim and
Kim
Anderson.
is side by side, finally able to make something happen here.
Oh, and he's alongside into the
Turn one.
turn in. He leaves his space and he takes it. And now Doug Mitchell is alongside Anderson. Who's gonna give up?
It's gonna be close.
Oh, and they
There's still
touch.
overlap.
Oh, tapping.
They touch, and up ahead Durant gets spun out as well.
Oh, a little bit of rubbing
They keep it
is
together, and they go through
racing.
Durant.
Oh my gosh.
There he is. I'm gonna rewind and see what happened to him.
A lot just happened
Oh,
right
and
there.
he just snaps. Right on
Man,
top
that
of the
was
racing line.
so
Ooh.
great avoidance. Wow.
Oh.
It was
Yeah,
it
make
was
that
looking
car
insane
slim.
here on the picture-in-picture. Watching Anderson just see a car coming flying at him. He didn't see anything until these guys in front cleared away. But Evan Kim gets that position. So does Douglas Mitchell, and Douglas Mitchell does it with a little bit of bumping and banging. But that's racing, sir. So throw him off the line through the S's and just take a spot. Good racing from Doug tonight. Sitting in 12th place, and Evan is sitting in 11th place. So they're probably feeling pretty happy right about now. 39 minutes left of the race.
Anderson just got around Allen. Right before the backstop. And Steffi gets around Stallworth. Owen Damiani's yellow flagged. And that's
That
straight
was
to
a
the
hard
back.
crash into the wall there.
Ouch.
Damiani, buddy, I wouldn't blame you if you just popped.
Oh,
Huge
and
move
just
by
in
this Porsche.
time. Massive, huge move. The ball's on McCroat. He
Wow,
pins it
that
right
was
on the apex, takes the slot. Boardman leaves the room.
That was a
clean
good
driving.
move there.
Very, very nice.
We have a good
McCroat
little
can
train
strike back.
forming here. Anderson, Durant, Yun, Stack, and Diaz all kind of forming up right here. Looking like something's about to get spicy.
If you look at that timer up on the top of your screen, we are approaching the 38-minute mark. In 3 minutes, pit window will open for 10 minutes, and drivers have to fill up at least 1 liter of fuel.
Ooh, Day getting a rear camera full of Derek Stack. Excuse me.
Yeah, D-Stack and Victor Diaz is also saying what's up to Stack in front there. Great train forming here. As you can see here in the picture.
Owen Jeffries, yellow flag and off track and losing time now.
Stack is looking up the inside of Yun. Has to tuck in behind. Yun losing a little bit of time out to the cars in front here. Now really seeing the front bumper of Stack. He might be able to pick out some of the bugs on the front there. Stack looking up the inside, seeing if he can make something happen here. Doesn't have the straight line speed really to have anything, but wait a minute.
What's this? They're going side by side.
Still
I
has
spoke too
inside
soon.
here.
He's side by side, yeah.
Oh, not quite enough. He tucks in. He gets the inside for the left-hander, but that gives the Porsche the outside for the right-hander. So nothing doing. And Jason
Yeah,
Allen.
Dave-
He
fine,
runs
fine
wide
defense.
here, has to slow up. Now that puts Victor Diaz almost alongside Stack here. Has to fall back just a little bit. Man, this train is about about to be crazy action going on here. Just gotta wait for the setup to happen. Evan Kim, take a look at Evan Kim on the main screen here. He was real close up to someone a second ago. And he makes the pass on Eric Borgman.
Got to cover off the inside for the first corner.
We have another drive-through alert.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Jason Allen unfortunately suffers.
Another one.
And
for the
Vicini
pit board.
is now P3. What happened here? Gotta see this. Oh, he went off track. And that was P2 and now P3 going side by side and tucking ahead in front of him.
That was our race leader there.
Yes, it was.
That was Riley.
No,
Matt
no,
Lehman
Vicini.
takes first.
Oh, yes, Vicini, I apologize.
As you can see, guys, it's getting way darker out here. These drivers are going to have to start thinking about adjusting to this darkness. Hopefully, a lot of these folks have practiced in the night here.
Turn
Victor
your
Diaz
lights
sending it
on.
up the inside of the stack. Just missed it.
They're side by side
Backwards,
right
he's
now.
going to go up the inside again here.
The pit is now open.
Porsche has the brakes for this.
Has the brakes. Oh, when he dives back to the outside there. Looks like he wasn't confident enough that he had it to be able to try to stick it.
When Matt Schwartz fighting cleansing now. They're side by
Pit
side.
window's open. Into this hard braking zone. Still double. Schwartz with this inside lane here. It's been
Oh, he leaves
proven
so
well.
much room. And Nick Sand is yellow flagged. And off. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What happened here? Diego enters
Yes,
the
folks.
pits, and Sand enters the barrier.
Dae Hyun goes into the pits. Duran, San, Vimmers Casas on the pits.
Oh
right now.
no! That's Sand was trying to enter the pits, and he nearly goes into the barrier. That's what happened. Oh wow, that sucks.
It's
Oh, that-
such a hard left there into those pits, and that pit limiter line comes up very quick, so it is very hard on the brake, even to make that left. It is very easy to do exactly what he just did.
That is going to kill his relative. Had in lap.
Damiani with a smashed up car on all four corners is entering the pits.
Impressive driving there by Josh, because I know his car was pretty beaten up after that encounter with the wall that he had. So he kept it out there for pit window to open to bring it back in. So anybody in chat, if anybody's watching and you want to shout your driver out who you're rooting for, let us know in chat and maybe we'll hop on and follow him for a lap or so. So not to bring it up, not to curse Lehman, but if he is listening, I want to make sure he knows that there's 7 minutes left in the pit window, and to make sure you get in there.
He's going to crash now. He's going to start having Vietnam flashbacks to the Watkins Glen race. But,
Yeah, after that incident, I'm actually a little surprised he's still out there laughing, but I do agree with the strategy. Pitting late seems to be effective. You don't have to get stuck behind any traffic.
Croak
Victor
takes the
Diaz,
pits.
Stack,
And
and
Kim.
Stefik all lapping together as Victor Diaz heads into the pits.
And Mitchell.
Yeah, Douglas Mitchell, Evan Kim, Stallworth, all in the pits right now.
Oh. Nope, just looking for it.
Yeah, camera angle's a little deceptive there.
Yeah, you throw
It
a
looked a
move
lot
and it looks like,
closer
oh
than
no! And we look very crowded leaving the pits.
Not what you want to see. As Evan and Douglas come back onto the track here. Stefic has been hawking down Stack over these last couple laps out here.
Yeah, Chris Stefig's actually P4 right now for silver. That's Mike Scott asking about it in chat. He's P4 in silver right now. He started from the back because he could not qualify. So this has been a huge race for him.
And he even had a bit of an incident there early on, and he's still hanging in there.
He's up more than hanging in there. He's up 15 spots.
Well, Matt Schwartz
It
gets around.
Might be because of the pit window here. We're gonna see where he ends up as he passes Stack.
Oh, that is true.
Oh, Matt Schwartz just spins himself out in turn 1. Nearly gets collected by Nick Sand. As I look away, Stack and Stefic are swapping spots.
We have Mike Scott in chat, rooting for Stefic. I said that earlier.
Hey, Mike.
Pretty saucy. That's the one I meant to read. Fingers crossed for Vicini and Riley to hold their positions, because this would be a team champion win for them. Another Let's Go Vicini from Neltac.
Anderson takes to the pits of the B variety. We got a race between Stallworth and Jeffries right now. Really fitted
We're on
toilet
different
paper roll between
strategies.
them. And Stallworth gets the inside and takes it. Very spooky.
You know, I'm surprised it's not darker than it is.
Well, it's only been,
It's,
yeah, it's... The time multiplier's not on or anything.
Oh, it's not on?
It's only 8:37.
Is it supposed to be on?
I don't know. I'm not the
I
boss.
think so. No, I don't think so. It's I think it's just at 1x, not
Okay.
at like 1.5 or anything like that. It's real time, I believe. I'm sure it's plainly listed in the rulebook. But
And if it's not, Dahi will get it sorted.
right now, he's tearing up the track. Pit window's
Strong
not
kick.
closed yet, but he's in 17th place right now. He's going to shoot up in positions quite a bit once the pit window is done. Hinger, Nordstrom,
And Riley.
both in the pits. Yep. Riley's just now getting dropped and going to be leaving the pits here. The teammates pit together.
Oh, and Nick Sand gets yellow flagged. He's in the grass. What happened here?
Boardman hopping into the pits as well.
Ooh, Audi in front of him. Ping pong. Boom, you're
Man,
dead.
it was decent contact, but to spin him the opposite way really hurts.
Yep.
Anderson of the A variety is just hopping into the pits. Hinger and Nordstrom just hopping back out, going back onto the track. Free and clear for them. And Jeffries is heading into the pits now as well.
Well, Boardman yellow
Dromo
flag.
just now exiting the pits.
Linsing.
Lensing, uh-oh.
Happened.
Just stopped off the track. And he's out of here. That was strange.
What? Yeah, he just quit. Maybe he realized he didn't have enough fuel. That's the only scenario I can imagine.
I don't know.
Could be the track. It's a rough track.
It is a rough track. It's like I said, they'll take every last hair that you have, trying to get this one perfected.
Yeah, I
Duran,
saw. Go ahead.
Duran is hopping into the pits here behind Vicini and Lehman. But he was right on the back of Vicini.
Sand right on the back of Schwartz.
Evan Kim right on the back of McCroat. Evan Kim has had quite a run up to McCroat too. He was a decent ways off. Now he's right on his bumper. Sorry, what were you going to say, Colin?
I was gonna say a joke that I saw in Discord by Scott Smith. He said Cota. It stands for car off track always.
True.
It's true.
Yep, I just feel like we've seen a lot of it today.
Steffi can stack into the pits. And Nick Sand has got the job done on Matt Schwartz.
And the pit window is ending right now.
Everybody pit.
Pit window is now closed.
Did Boardman get in?
Yes, I believe he did. Jess, what say you? Everyone pit? All green arrows?
I'm not sure.
Uh-oh. We won't know.
Boardman is in the pits.
Oh, we have more drive-thrus. Matt Lehman and Diego Fimbres Casas.
Matt Lehman and Diego
One
both
in
drive-thrus.
P4.
Woo! Spicy.
Oh my.
That's 5, folks.
That's 5 drive-throughs. Our race leader and our P4 championship leader, Fimbres Casas, right?
Yeah.
It's huge.
Davey Young staring down Stefik here. 7/10 off, not too far behind. Goes a little wide through the corner here.
Very deep. Oh, and way off. Hi,
I
Davey.
like the marker board chilling in the middle of the track there. Now he's not so close. Evan Kim fell off the back of McCroat just a little bit.
And Jess
Now,
had another one because McCroat has a drive-through.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Maybe that's why Evan Kim backed off.
I think that's bringing our total up now to 6.
Yep.
You get a drive-through. You get a drive-through.
Everybody gets a drive-through.
Yeah, so you have 3 laps before you have to serve that drive-through. So
Diego serves it immediately.
McCroat serving his now too. This is Porsche drive-through season. Douglas Mitchell feeling really good right about now, sitting in 9th place, passing all those fools who got their drive-throughs. Now sitting in P8.
Not bad. Not bad.
He's going to have one hell of a train behind him, though, trying to catch back up to him. I know Diego is not going to let that position go easily. He wants to get back up at the top and scrap at the big boys. Looks like Stack, Anderson, and Fimbres Casas are all pretty close to each other. Fimbres Casas putting on the legs, though, and getting away. Still, Stack and Anderson are pretty darn close here. Taking a look at the onboard of Stack. Driving for gas or die this season in the number 610 Porsche.
to give chat here an update on the Silver Championship and standings currently, well, positions at least for this. Evan Kim is our leader for the silver class. Victor Diaz is P2, Chris Stefiak P3, and Dahi P4.
Team McLaren, let's go! Let's go!
Yeah,
Team
that's
McLaren.
two McLarens, top two.
Just
We will
extra
see what
big
happens though.
flex on Doug and team over there in the Badmins. Hold up. I gotta look at the team standings here. Where are the Badmins for the team standings?
They're not doing too great, I thought.
Oh, it's close. It's close between Team McLaren and the Badmins. One of the greatest rivalries of all time here. Badmins are looking at a 324, and Team McLaren BBC is looking at 333. That's Josh and Evan. And Team McLaren Chicane Killers.
Did Matt
looking at
Lehman just get
507.
another penalty, or is it already there?
It might have been already there. I don't know if he served it.
Okay.
No, it has to be the same one because he's still P1.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, I'm rooting for you guys. Maybe this is why Josh is still hanging in there. He's a real team player. He's trying to get some points on the board to take to rocket BBC straight up above the Doug and team over there. Bro, what is computer problems over here? Durant's 4/10 off the back of Douglas Mitchell. Like I said, that 8th place is not going to come easy. These drivers coming out of their drive-throughs are looking to take those positions that they lost right back.
We got a lot of fans in chat pretty hyped up for Chris Stefiak here. He went from P19 to P11 through the pit window. And he's 2 seconds off of Victor Diaz now. Under 2 seconds.
Outstanding.
I would also like to say, Paulie, we're absolutely getting roasted in chat.
What
They're
for?
calling us the McLarens.
Hey,
Roasted.
McLarens.
I need names. Start writing down names, okay? I'll 1v1 all of them. Okay.
Matt
Yeah,
Lehman serves his pit, his drive-through.
Mike Scott, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Okay. Who else? Who else? Average McLaren, Roger for now.
Oh, and Matt
What?
Lehman comes out right in front of this train I was looking at and gets taken out by Mitchell.
Oh,
or
no.
Mitchell takes himself out? What happened here? So Lehman comes out of the pit lane. Oh, and drives Mitchell right off the track. Oh, missing his brake point real bad. Oh, neither Doug nor the stewards are going to be happy about that one, sir.
Well, Roger, I think we have the perfect match for you here at Team McLaren. So I would keep an eye out for tomorrow. Okay, we got Nate up there. He's gonna go crazy. I promise. Wander, yeah, I'll 1v1 you, man.
Nimbus Casas is behind Yun after his drive-through.
Whoa, wait, hold up. What did I miss while I was looking aside there?
What?
There's people off track.
I don't see
My
any yellow
goodness.
flags.
I just saw carnage. How is there not yellow flags? Oh. Oh wait, the stream is behind. Oh my gosh. I'm silly. All right, hold up. Back to the action.
Oh,
here.
Diego sends it up the inside for the double apex, but Yoon might get the switchback. He's still got the overlap. Oh, but he's showing the outside. And what a move from Diego! Wow. Daring.
Yeah, that was a huge send there.
You silly gooses in track got me all on in chat, dude. I can't
Silly
speak
geese.
English tonight. Silly geese. I give up, I guess. But Team McLaren never gives up. Matt Lehman sitting in 8th place right now,
Not
looking at
giving up.
Durant's. Yep. Chris Stefiak still looking really good as well. 5/10 off the back of Victor Diaz. Looking at trying to take that P1 for silver.
P2 for silver. It'd be a P2. Evan
Yeah,
Kim
Kim's got
is
P1.
P1.
I'm out of it today, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
It's all
Me
good.
too, man.
Quality.
And Lehman gets around Durant's. I looked away at the wrong moment. Let's play that back. Ooh, and right up the inside. Just barges his way through.
Chris Stefiak loses time here to Victor Diaz, and instantly under pressure from Diego Fimers Casas. He's like swerving on the straights here. I don't know what Diego's doing. More interesting battles happening here. Nick Sand versus A. Anderson. Porsche on Porsche action. Sand dives up the inside, trying to force Anderson out, and I think he does. Unless Anderson get the switch here. Can't
Oh,
make
and
it
Lehman
happen.
goes right off track, missing his break point. Durant just takes the spot right back from him. Back to P8.
Oh, but Anderson is making it happen. He's right alongside Sand. Sand gets on the brakes just a little bit later. Anderson might be able to cross him up here. Nope, doesn't get the car down on the track close enough. And Sand is going to keep this position. Maybe the Mountain Dew sticker on the back isn't working. It's giving other people caffeine by osmosis when they're close to you, and they're hyping up.
So with 14 minutes left, Vicini P1. It's a all Ferrari top 3 right now. Vicini, Riley, Durant.
Yeah, you hate to
Riley
see it.
is under a
Speaking
second
of,
off.
Yeah. Battle's back on for P1.
And these are teammates. I mean, this is where you got to decide. Are you going to be loyal to your teammate? Are you going to fight? Are you going to battle? And I mean, maybe one of these drivers are looking for a new team next season. Maybe this is how they're going to let them know. by
James,
battling
if
hard
you're listening
here.
to me right now,
Punt him. Punt him now.
Well, Team McLaren would love to expand their roster to a quarter of the league.
And we get a little bit of rubbing.
So-
Diego sends it up Stefiak the same way I think he just did Yoon. And gets it done. Yeah, same exact move. He goes to cover off the inside. Oh, and they're still side by side. Just trying to set up the almighty switchback, not finding the exit though. And he starts dropping back. So let's go back to this fight for P1. I love to see it. Not that they're Ferraris, but at least they're matching.
Roger, you can't put money against yourself for losing the race tomorrow. That's
easy.
not how that works. Okay, you're just gonna throw.
Unless he's got amazing odds. Well, I mean, we still wouldn't let him, but then at least it would make sense.
Look how close that grid is here. 15 minutes into racing. It's
Yeah,
pretty tight and back.
Everyone's close, but there's not a whole lot of really close battles happening right now.
Yeah,
Everyone's
not
just
quite
kind
in
of
the slipstream.
yeah, no one's quite in the slipstream. Everyone's kind of just looking at each other from across the track a little bit, giving each other the stink eye. saying, I'm coming for you. Evan Kim keeps gaining and losing here on Kinger.
You were worried about it not getting dark very quickly. It's dark now.
Yep.
Yeah,
Getting
it's,
darker.
yeah, I was gonna say it's getting dark now.
So looking at the last lap times here, Kinger has a slower last lap over Evan. We're gonna have to see how this progresses here. If Evan can catch up to Kinger.
Yeah, Latufa just brought up a great point. The drivers could be avoiding track cuts.
Yeah, it's true. Like I said, you might almost want to play this a little bit like an endurance. Just keep the car on the track and wait for someone else to make a mistake because it's all too easy here. And now we're getting the light show here. So you can see around
Kinger's yellow
Kinger spins
flag.
around.
What happened
Kinger
here?
just spins around by himself and lands himself on the apex. Evan Kim gets around.
That's a shame. You
Now
see, he
he's,
only lost one spot, looks like.
But he's 1.5 seconds down from Evan. Let's see if this lit that fire under him and if he can catch back up.
Ooh, and James Riley is just now really reeled in Vicini. 3/10 between the two. I wonder, even if James does have the pace, I wonder if now let's just bring it home.
Diego is 0.8 behind Victor. Coming up on him. See how this battle gets handled. Diego has the fastest last lap on the board as of right now. Actually, I take that back. San has the fastest last lap.
Oh, Diego getting around Chris.
Diego.
Or Victor,
No,
excuse me.
that's Victor, yep. I think that's how both drivers wanted that one to go. Nice and clean, because Diego was going to have that pace as Victor gives him a little love flash.
Love flash.
This is not the B-52s, Jess. There's no Chryslers in this game, but there is one car that is as big as a whale. That's the
Lehman
Bentley.
trying to get around Durant's here.
He's got the
Way
inside,
on the inside.
but will he get the job done before the right-hander? He does.
Great move.
And look at Riley up here. 4/10 off the back of Vicini.
Yeah, I think they've been maintaining formation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody
Teammate.
mentioned in chat that as we were trying to get them to disobey team orders and fight each other, that they're
Besties,
pretty
yeah.
good friends.
Oh, Nick
so.
San yellow flagged again. Looks like he just had a quick off track.
Next stand, buddy. You got to keep it together. You're setting those fast times. Got to be worried about those track cuts. Now the pace of these drivers are starting to kick up as I'm starting to see positive deltas on the board. Only 7 minutes and 44 seconds left of this race. Everyone who's looking at a position is going to start trying to close this gap. B. Anderson is looking at D. Stack. Matt Lehman is looking at Kinger. Who else we got? Chris Stefic is going to be looking at Diaz for that P2 silver spot again and closing that gap as well. And Boardman and Schwartz are within range of each other for these last couple laps here if Boardman can pick it up. But yeah, this is coming to the close of our race.
Yeah, I also want to bring up Dahy is in P3 for silver. He's only 3 seconds back from
P4.
Chris Stefic. He's in P4. He could be fighting for P3 because Chris Stefic and Victor Diaz, if they start battling here, Dahy could take advantage of it. I think Chris lost a little bit of time there actually to Victor. He's looking 1.5 seconds back.
Matt Lehman side by side with Kinger right now. coming down the straight. Matt Lehman looks like he's got a little bit of a run on Kinger here.
And he
He's taking the
does.
inside and braking later, taking that inside corner and making it look easy, just keeping that car perfectly in line. And he's going to keep this position well. Not much Kinger can do. Durant's not too far behind. He's going to be looking at taking the spot from Kinger as well. Durant's has been on a tear here. It's so smooth watching Lehman. No sudden movements. Everything is just nice and it's like a ballet, you know? Grant's now 4/10 off of the back of Kinger here. Looking at the onboard here. Hopefully Durance keeps the phrase on the back of Kinger's car in mind when he goes to pass here at turn 1. Please no Punterino. It's always so difficult watching people go through that first corner there. It's just so easy just to go through it just to, 2 miles an hour faster, and then boom, you're looking at the back of the track or the wall. Or
We got McCrow taking the inside of turn 1 off the Stallworth. And it looks like he's got it. Stallworth is going to be shown, yep, long way around.
Fimbers Casas now catching up to Durance.
Oh, do we have another
6/10 off of the back of him.
Oh no, Josh, that's an old drive from Josh.
Oh, and Durance touches the back of Kinger here and sends him wide a little bit here. Durance doing the good thing and not passing him or anything like that, letting him regain the car. But now he's under direct pressure from Fimbers Casas as the two Porsches are side by side. Coming into the braking zone here. Diego they kept the braking perfectly in line with each other, but looks like Durance kind of backs out, looks at the outside a little bit. Not much he can really do here. Diego is just, he's Diego. Gonna do Diego things. Pass people.
Eric Boardman still stuck behind Shorts. Wasn't able to get the run off this back straight. Gotta be content trying to get the job done on the last lap, maybe.
Fimbers Casas looking at the back of Kinger here, trying to see if he can get something done. Durance is actually trying to come up on the inside of him, forcing him not to clip the curb like we want to do through there. Slowing him down just a little bit, keeping him in check. Diego's just got such a great line through here. Instantly caught right up to Kinger. Makes those S's just look easy. Diaz, but catching back up slowly here with all this action happening up front. Maybe Victor can take one of these positions from Durance. Eric Boardman. Bumper of Shorts.
Two-minute warning.
Oh, nearly up the inside of the Audi. It's getting hot. It's getting hot.
Minute 30 left of the race. Yep.
Gives him the flashers. Lets him know he's gonna
Yep.
send it.
Send it.
He's looking up the inside too. But that Audi power is just super strong on these straights here. Porsche can't compete with it. Right on the bumper. Amazing car control there.
Well, meanwhile, Schwartz gets around Boardman in the back for P20. And up ahead, Vicini and Riley still maintaining formation for their tag team P1, P2.
Well, this is going to lock down the team championship for Grit Thieves Motorsport. If they can bring it home, it looks like they will, by a good margin too. So these folks did a great job this season, and we've seen from some great driving between these two. A lot of these sort of formation driving happening as well. I remember distinctively at Kyalami, there was a lot of team orders going on for those folks up there. But yeah, great driving from them. There's only 20 seconds left of this race. Looks like
Leaders on the final lap. Just got the message.
there you go. When Diego sends it on the outside here.
Nothing doing.
Ooh, can't make anything happen there. Damiani, yellow flag. Come on, buddy, bring it home.
The leader has finished the race.
Leader has finished the race. There we go. Congratulations to Vicini and Riley.
A well-earned
And Duran.
P1 and P2.
Duran not too far behind them. Coming in for P3, Nordstrom is going to be next up in the order here. Coming in for P4. Congratulations to him. Evan Kim.
Oh, and we're still fighting the last two corners.
Evan Kim, P5. Best
Oh,
finish of the
Crosses
season
up
for
the
him.
inside and
and
he
he
spins
sends it
him.
and they nearly come to a
Oh,
halt.
and then he recorrects him.
Oh
And
my
Victor
gosh,
Diaz
a
is
drag
trying to
race
get-
down the race.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That, I think their hearts just went into their throats for a moment there. But yes, Diego gives them a little correction tap, and then I assume got out of the throttle, so he didn't take the spot off him unfairly. Good show, good sport, and that's that for them. Brian Anderson crossed the line for P13, Doug Mitchell for 14, McCroat P15, Nick San P16.
In the picture-in-picture, we have Diego doing his championship celebration spins here. Congratulations to Diego on winning the championship here for Season 4 SRA. Not results confirmed, but I suspect based off of that finishing position and the dominant lead that he's had so far. So, Colin, if you could write this down, we're looking at, for interviews, Vicini, Riley, Duran. For silver, we're going to be looking at Evan Kim, Victor Diaz, and Chris Stefiak.
Got it.
For our team championship for D1 is going to be Vicini and Riley. Our overall champion is going to be Fambers Casas. Our silver champion is going to be Chris Stefiak. So we're going to be bringing all these folks in here anyway, except for Fambers Casas. So let's start filtering these people into the booth here so we can give them a chat and see how their seasons went. And see what we're looking forward to in Season 5.
Let's get him in here. Colin, somebody?
Oh,
Oh, Dehi.
What are you doing in here? Yeah, get out of here,
Wrong
scram!
chat.
Scram!
I'm gonna bring Riley up. Oh, should we bring them both up, Vicini and Riley at the same time?
Yeah,
Bring them
yeah,
both
yeah,
up.
yeah.
They're a package deal.
Almost hit Lehman or something.
Hold up, you're on the booth here. We're gonna bring your teammate up here. Sorry about moving you in the middle of your conversation.
Not sorry.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How you?
Hello.
And there we go.
There's your teammate. Hey, welcome to the booth. And congratulations on the great season, a great race.
Oh my God.
Yes,
so
so
sweaty
it's-
right now.
Good times, good times.
Yeah.
So there's the team championship for you guys. I was talking to both of you throughout the season, and I know that you really wanted it. How's it feel now that you finally locked it down?
Kind of weird, I guess, because it didn't really happen the way we expected it to. Like, we
Yeah, it was
expected
a
Fimbers cost. We expected Diego to just run away with it, and then we were like, all right, we finished in the top like 10, we'll be good or whatever.
we were trying to do maths here at going into the race today to figure out what we needed to do, but when you come 1-2 here at the end, then there leaves no questions. So
Yeah, and all those drive-throughs really came into play here. Cota is such a difficult track. How are you guys trying to navigate that?
well,
You can go first, James.
yeah, we had spoken before, at least up here, that Felipe and I competed together in the Ferrari here at the SRA Cota endurance race. So we had that experience where it was the same issue. A lot of people got drive-throughs, and we got out to an early lead, and then just held it by not getting any drive-throughs. And so going into today, we went with a different philosophy versus the other setup we used for the endurance race. We went high wing because we knew Diego was in the Porsche, and the only way we could compete through the other portions of the track in Sector 1 and Sector 2 specifically was to take more downforce, and then hoping that the Ferrari would be able to pull away from him on that back main straight. And so that was our main focus going into this race here, and just not getting drive-throughs. So I had one track cut the entire race up until the last lap when I had a little fun there at the end. So
Yeah, I got one when I went off in the S's, and then second or third to last lap, I think. Like I told you, exiting the S's, left-hander on the right. And then I almost died. I don't know if you noticed. I almost lost the car because I forgot to switch TCs in the S's, like I think on the last
Oof.
lap. So
yeah, I
that
thought you
was
were just drifting.
yeah, no. I was like, why is it doing? Oh, okay, because I'm in TC7. That's why. But yeah, track cuts obviously super important here. I mean, just kind of knowing where to put the car and knowing that you're good is pretty important, obviously. And then, I mean, yeah, James basically covered everything. We just ran max wing, like just being super safe with it. Even if we lose speed down the straight, it should be okay. And it seemed pretty good. Like I think we had the Ferrari has a pretty good exit out of the hairpin on the back straight, and then it obviously loses speed down like once you get in like fifth gear. But it wasn't too bad like in some other tracks. So yeah, it was fun, very sweaty.
So you two are no stranger to the booth up here. Is it safe to say that Grid Thieves Motorsports will be returning for season 5?
Absolutely.
100%. I think we might not be in the Fiat
Good.
though.
Yeah.
James,
Yeah.
I dragged James to drive the Ferrari this season, so I'm gonna have to repair the favor next season.
Ferrari honestly seems to be on its way back up after a couple balance changes and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So long as you don't have to compete with guys that have like crazy top speed, especially like at Paul Ricard and everything else like that, the Ferrari is pretty
What?
competitive.
You
just
mean
have to drive it.
zero wing beam setups aren't
Yeah,
like
that's what
super
we
safe or
ran.
anything?
Yeah, yeah. Zero wing
Yeah.
setups were pretty sketch nation this season, but we might be in the Honda next season, and we might just stay out here in the Ferrari. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And then as long as you stay away from any curves as well, you should be okay in the Ferrari.
Well,
Which thankfully Cota doesn't have too many of those bad ones.
we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys up here in the booth again. I suspect we're going to see you quite a lot next season, and hopefully you guys can not only get a team championship, but the overall championship as well. Because I think that you guys definitely have the pace for it. So
Yeah, it'll be tough to beat Diego. Looking forward to racing against him next season again here, and then reprising Grid Thieves Motorsports as well. Looks like you guys have D5 and D6 already up there on the leaderboards and stuff like that. So we will be recruiting, and depending on where our original founding members end up going, they'll need teammates unless the OG founding members will be in the same divisions together. But yeah, we'll be looking for prospective teammates here in the future.
Awesome.
awesome, guys! Once again, congratulations on the team championship, and congratulations on the P1, P2. Fantastic race from you guys this race and all season long.
Hey, thanks. You too. Love what
Thank
you
you,
guys
guys.
do, and keep up the good work. We'll see you next season.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
See you.
Thank you guys. Good night.
All right, who we
Alright,
got next?
so-
Evan? Dom.
We have Duran, yeah, P3. Should I also grab Diego? So,
so-
okay,
If you see him, let's just filter him in here. But,
awesome. So
but
Duran's our
let's-
P3 gold finisher.
Dominic Duran, P3 gold finish. How you feeling out there?
I'm sweating again. I'm sweating week after week, man. It's this is not easy keeping up with these guys.
I believe it.
Yeah,
And
so
honestly, I wasn't keeping up this week. I don't think I had the I didn't have the pace for a podium. I was probably P5 at best, but you know, we all got to play by the same rules, and track limits just happens to be one of them.
yeah, the track limits were absolutely brutal out here. There was a lot of heartbreaks that were happening up in the top of the grid here. What was your strategy for trying to stay out of the pit lane?
Trying to stay out of the pit lane.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
for a
the for a
drive-through.
drive-through. Yeah.
Um, I was really struggling in practice to think to lift, but I mean, I was just lifting like crazy. As soon as I came out of the exit of one turn and I knew had a pretty bad angle out of it, I just took the L and lifted right away. I think I was on 2 track cuts by the end of that.
Yeah,
Only
similar
2?
story from some of the other drivers up here. Especially towards the end when the tires started getting real bad and everyone starts to get worn down. It gets pretty close. But how do you feel like the tire degradation played into that?
A little info for the D2, D3 guys, I guess. I had light graining on all 4, and
Mm.
then I was down to about 2.2 millimeters on all 4 as well. But I mean, with that, it's all balanced wear, so the car didn't feel too bad by the end, and I was putting in fairly consistent times. It was fairly easy to control, I'd say.
All right. Well, congratulations on the P3 and thank you for that info. We got a lot of folks to get to tonight. We're gonna try to bring our champion in here for the gold division. I think we're going to be looking at Evan Kim here next. But congratulations on the P3, and we hope to see you up here many more times next season.
Yeah, great job,
Thank,
Duran.
thank you very much. Take it easy, guys.
See you.
You too.
And
God.
who's next?
I picked up Dom's name, and where do I put
Evan
him?
Kim?
Oh God. Okay. Evan Kim.
Hey, Evan, great job.
Well, I did something good tonight, and I'm feeling happy about it.
You did something great.
That was a really sweaty race. That took all my concentration, man. That track is so tough.
Yeah, so I know that we were talking last night. You weren't all that confident coming into the race, but then I see you come out in the qualifying session and just nail it. You were
Yeah,
looking awesome out there. What changed for you?
I don't know. I must have just had a good day, I guess. I threw down a PB, and even still, I had some more time left in there. I had some time on my delta in a couple spots, and just tossed it away, making really tiny mistakes. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was plenty happy with that qualifying. Put myself in a really good spot. I saw a bunch of cars ahead of me picking up drive-throughs and pouncing on situations where they got a little loose or went off track. Ended up P5. I'm super stoked.
so does this change some opinions about the McLaren or?
No. Don't. That's way too far. I will certainly be in a different car next season. Not entirely sure which yet. I guess we'll have to tune in for the reveal stream before season 5. And yeah, you'll learn, and I will reveal what car I'm in next season.
Rex,
The
what? Who said
suspense.
that?
Maybe.
Well, fantastic race from you. That's P1 silver, right? So,
Yes, sir.
just I mean, didn't have that great of a season starting off with, and these last couple of races, you really picked it up here, and that's got to really feel good. So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
but season 5, where I know we're going to see you up here pretty much every week. You're going to be pretty much pushing out everyone else. You're almost going to be like Diego,
Don't hype him
but
up too much now.
for the silver division, because that Rex is just going to be tearing everyone else up. So,
Yep. We'll have to see what the track schedule is for next season and see if the Rex is going to be OP.
oof, yeah, this was a tough one this year. So, or this season. I keep saying year. But
Feels like
thank
it.
you so much for joining us up here, Evan. And like I said, I hope to see you up here again next season.
Absolutely, it's been a fun season. Thank you guys for taking over the streams week in and week out. I've had a really good time and looking forward to season 5.
Thanks, man.
Great racing, Evan.
Thanks. See you guys.
See you.
All right. I'm thinking we bring up Diego.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's our.
Hey, Diego. What exciting race for you this time. Wow. To cap off an exciting season. Want to tell us about it?
Well, I mean, we don't talk about the drive-through.
Sure. And we can talk about everything but that.
And the fact that I screwed up my pit stop, but everything else, I mean, it was well, I mean, the visibility in the night was kind of through the S's. It was pretty iffy. It was an adventure, but I mean, still, I mean, I had a good race. I did have fun, to be honest.
Yeah, and you got the championship by a good amount too. So just a dominant season, and maybe this wasn't the race for you. I mean, you still wound up doing pretty darn well in it. This was actually your worst race of the season, and even still, you did fantastic. You know, the drive-throughs always suck, but this track is just it's brutal for him.
Yeah, the funny thing. Like normally, the place where you get track limit warnings is through the S's, but I somehow managed to get them at the hairpins. Like the hairpin after the back straight. I got I think like 2 of them there.
Running
And
wide?
no, I think I cut the apex a little bit too much. Like I wrote the
Really?
yeah, it was weird because I mean you lose time, you're not
Yeah.
gaining time, so that
Yeah.
was like so that was like, what the hell? When I got the first one, I was like, wait, how? I was genuinely confused. But like I was actually pretty happy that I kept it like really rather clean through the S's. I was really nailing them. And then the one I think the warning that finally got me to drive through, funny enough, was through the S's. But I mean besides that, I think I was pretty happy how I was driving through there because that's the hardest part of that track right there.
Yeah, a very difficult track, but you were like, especially your line through the S's. I saw that you were just gaining so much time on people there. It was insane watching you. I was watching pretty heavily in the end there with you and Kinger, and you would like fall back from him just a little bit, and then through the S's you would be right on his bumper, and over the lap, fall back a little bit, couple missed moves, and then through the S's you'd be right back on his bumper. It was crazy to watch. With all that insane car control, do you have any tips for how people should navigate the S's, especially in traffic, for those who are going to be participating tomorrow night?
I, I think it's a matter. Actually, like I don't know if you guys seen it, but there's like some sort of I don't know what to call them, but like little sausages, like little curbs. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
white. So those things are the apex. So if you want to take the S's right, you need to hit them, and there's like a fine line because obviously, I mean, we've talked about like nonstop how track limits around here are horrible, but if you hit those little curves, I mean that's pretty much the line. And then the thing is, if you screw up one corner through there, you just screwed up the whole section. Like I mean, you can kind of recover it, but I mean, it's one of those sections where if you screw up one corner, I mean, you're gonna lose time. So it's just a matter of being as aggressive as possible. And for example, in the Porsche, I mean it goes pretty much for all of the tracks, but in the Porsche, if you lift, you die. So
Yep.
you need to keep on the throttle. You drive this thing on the throttle. So for all my Porsche drivers, remember that for tomorrow. If you lift, you die.
Noted.
Well,
You're probably gonna get to watch me spin next tomorrow for getting that very advice.
is there anything that you have to say to kind of sum up your season so far, or anyone that you want to shout out that was a part of your victory here?
I mean, shout out to my teammate Nick. I mean, he drove really well, but sadly he had some bad luck throughout the season.
Yeah,
But
and we saw some of it too tonight.
yeah, he told me that he screwed up his pit stop. and then he got 3 warnings 20 minutes in. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah. So it was. I mean, it happens in racing. You're gonna have, I mean, bad stretches. I mean, for me, for example, I had a stretch. I don't know, like a year ago, where like no matter what happened, I was always involved in that crash. I was like, dude, like what the hell am I doing wrong? So it's just a matter of keeping your head down. And he's a good driver though. He's been a really good teammate.
For sure.
And we're gonna team up again for next season. Um,
That's great.
but yeah. So, and this thing, the Porsche. I mean, it's kind of funny because out of all the cars, I didn't expect like to win a series in this thing because this. I mean, to be honest, the Porsche, it may be insane in quality pace. It has insane quality pace, but during the race,
Yeah.
it's probably the hardest car to race.
Yeah,
And
it's hard to keep under wraps or pointing in the right direction, and it just doesn't have the power on the straights to make that an always worthwhile trade. It's
yeah,
hard. It's hard to consistently pull the results out with it for sure.
because the thing is, I mean, if you screw up your one and only advantage, meaning the corners. I mean, it has great brakes too. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but
I,
you
I
can't.
lean on that. If I didn't have those great brakes in the Porsche, I probably still wouldn't drive it.
Yeah, I mean, you can lean on that, but like the thing is, since it doesn't have the straight line speed, you can't really use the the brakes, you know.
Yeah,
So it's a really really hard to car to race in. So if you screw up, I mean, like I said, if you screw up the corners, you compromise your exit to the straight, and that's where you get overtaken. I mean, great example, Watkins. I was flying through the corners, but I couldn't do, and I beg my pardon, shit on the straight after the S's. I couldn't do anything. I remember Lehman in the M4. The moment he got into sixth gear, he was gone, gone. I was just a sitting duck, and then I just watched him like go past me, and I was like, oh well, later, dude. I'm on a Sunday stroll drive. Have a
yep,
good one. Um, but besides that, I mean, when you really get this car dialed in, I mean, it's so fun to drive. Like when you get everything correctly, like my God, great example tonight through the S's. When I got it right, it was like, oh yes, like it's so fun to drive. Um, what else? What else? I mean, Cota. We don't talk about Cota. We're never racing there again, right?
that's
Right.
right. That's right. You hear that,
So
Doug? You hear that,
please,
Doug? Never again.
never again, please.
So bad.
It's
Ugh,
so
it's so bad.
I mean, if who knows, somehow, some way, if they even bother like making the track limits a little bit more lenient. Because the thing is, like, what I found, because this was my first race I owned Cota in I don't know how long, in years, and my first one in ACC. So what I found out when I was following people throughout the race, like it's so hard following people because I mean you get the warnings when you're driving on your own, right? But when you're following people and you have a car right in front of you, like the margin of error is so small, so you're more prone to get warnings. It's like, yo, like what the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I had to avoid him. He was right
Y-
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna make them a little bit more lenient, but my goodness, Coda, Jesus Christ, people were in line when this hit that it was quite the track.
Yep. This will be my
Yeah.
first race in it tomorrow because I didn't even show up to the practice race last night.
Oh
So
man.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
rough.
As far
Yes.
I was a little confused last week. You said, "Oh, it's code. I'll be fine." I raced it before in another simulator. It's no
I
big
did.
deal. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, Diego,
Oh,
and
okay. I was about to say.
I was just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I guess you and me are driving totally different tracks. This one sucks. But I yeah, I don't know. What I'd like to be I'd like to know what they were smoking when they made the track limits clipping for this one because
Yeah,
it's got to be strong.
it
But
is. It
uh,
is quite
yeah,
bad.
I've never seen them make an update to a track like that before, but I guess we can all cross our fingers. This is a relatively new track to the game. I guess it's been out for a couple months now, but every other track that they put out for the DLC has been great, except for this one. It just makes me want to bash my skull in, and so many other people here in
Yeah.
SRA. But it's going to be a lot of fun for the folks who are going to be racing it tomorrow. So a little bit off. Oh, it's a great trek, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're just being
Turn up to the
pessimists.
race.
Don't worry. Tune in. Show
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Please watch the stream. People turn up to race. I mean, it's a wonderful track. It has really lenient track limits, and
Great for newcomers.
yeah, definitely.
But Diego, thank you so much for joining us up here tonight, and thank you so much for joining us up here. Like pretty much half the
Yeah, the
races
whole
this
season,
season.
man. You've been putting on a great show. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's been great watching you. It's been great, just it's like the awe of seeing how you're able to be one with that car and compete head to head and win against the fastest drivers in the league, which is quickly becoming one of the faster, openly accessible NA leagues. So it's a huge congratulations. But we're gonna have to see about next season, see if you can lock it down. I know that Doug and Tyler are going to have some new drivers coming in here and cooking up some competition. So hopefully you can win the overall championship again next season and be another sort of record-setting driver. Maybe you can be the one to beat Doug's record for the championships here. And hopefully you and Nick Sand can come together and get a team championship. That would be awesome.
Yep, hopefully that's the goal. I mean, I'm really looking forward to next season. I'm normally the type of guy who likes to change car every season. So Nick and I are currently talking about that, but I'm gonna be kind of sad to stop driving the Porsche, to be honest, because I mean, even though she's a little bit temperamental and even though she lacks the straight line speed, but like it's so much sweeter when you get those victories or when you get those good races in this thing, because like it's when you get it right, it's really satisfying. So
100%. That's why I've stuck with it partially.
yeah,
Just feels good when you do get it right.
yeah. Alright, so before I go, I wanna give a massive shout out to all the staff for organizing the championship. I'm super happy with how it's run. I mean we don't we I mean the only bad thing was that they put Cota in the calendar, but
Won't hold that against them for too long.
yeah. I mean you can't be perfect, right? I mean Um, but yeah, no, seriously, like ever since I stumbled upon a post on Reddit, I remember seeing the post on Reddit, like, oh, Sim Racing Alliance, North American League. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it out, and thank God I did, because this is like hands down best league I've been in. So yeah, shout out to all the staff, shout out to you guys for commentating the races,
Thanks, man.
and also, I mean, doing the stream. Uh, yeah, shout out to the guys I raced against, Lehman, Riley, Duran, and all the other guys. Yeah, and then I mean I wanna shout out my beautiful dog, may she rest in peace, Chiquis. Then sadly she passed away during the season. That's why I put the black stripe and the picture of her on my car.
And we
Mhm.
caught that on the grid walk too.
Yeah,
Many a
and
times.
thank you for that, by the way. Um, and yeah, I mean, I got the championship for her. I said ever since the season started, ever since last season where I think I got second place. I was like, you know what? Next season, like, it's like this is it. I need the championship. I won the championship, and thankfully, I did.
We
I
love to
got it.
see it.
So I'm pretty happy. And to be honest, it still hasn't synced in. I think after this, it's gonna start sinking in.
Well, we'll
Because
have to
I think
3D print you a trophy or something. Then it'll
yeah,
sink in.
yeah. I had like the Max Verstappen moment last week where like they told me, "Oh, you're a champion," and I'm like, "Huh? Like, what the hell? Like, am I supposed to go sit at the sofa by my own, or what the hell?" So yeah, I think it's gonna sink in after this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, you better get ready to do your shoey because that's
Oh
going to be coming
yeah,
up next. And a reminder to all the drivers
Mandatory.
who have a championship here, uh, you have to do a shoey. It's mandatory. We almost banned some guy last season. We brought him back only because he spent like 10 hours making a video for us, you know.
Yeah, we don't always
But
bend the rules like that. Don't think you're gonna be
yeah,
special.
yeah, you're not special, buddy. Okay, you got to get that shoey in, and it better. You got to be able to top the boot. Okay,
yeah.
so take a look at some of the other shoeys. and see how you can top that in another crazy way, so we can continue this awesome tradition. But thank you again, Diego. I want to get to our silver championship driver here for D1, Chris Defia. Come bring him in the booth, but I'm sure we'll have many more opportunities to talk next season.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
You
See
too,
you next
brother.
time, man.
All right. Take care. See you next time. Bye
Don't
bye.
celebrate too hard. Bye. All right, bringing in Chris Defiak.
Hey,
you doing,
Chris.
buddy?
What a drive. What a
Yes.
weird race for you. What? You want to fill us in?
Yeah. It was stressful. Knowing I had to start from the back. All I did was practice race pace this week. Not a single qualifying lap. And just had to make sure my tires lasted long enough. And I didn't get a drive through.
Yeah, so you started this race with a quali, right?
Yeah, I did not have a week last week, so I had to redeem myself.
Yeah, and I'd redeem yourself if you did. You wound up with a great finishing position and secured the championship, I believe. Let me double check here.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Nice. So that's we've been watching you all season, and you've been consistently up there in the top spots for the silver division. You had a great race at Cota here tonight, but what else is a contributing factor to that success?
A lot of it, like early in the season, I had some clean runs, which was great. I think I got off to a really good start in the season. Had a couple incidents in the middle where I was picking up damage. Not through any fault of my own, but being able to tough it through those races and still get good results helped a lot. And the Honda is great; it drives so well.
Controversial opinion there.
Yeah,
on the Honda.
Yeah, a lot of people hate it.
It's tough to get used to. I almost picked the McLaren actually preseason, but stuck with the Honda, gave it a chance, and it turned out well. It's a strong car. To me now, I've got a hold of it and kind of know what it's good at, know what it's not good at. So it's been super fun to drive too, though.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drivers saying that they haven't really been able to connect with the car as well as they thought. But there's no doubt that it's fast, and there's no doubt it can win races, as you've shown here this season. So, yeah, the Honda is something I'm heavily considering for next season, switching off the McLaren and moving into that car. It To me, it seems like a nice and stable car, relatively for a mid-engine, but you can still throw it around. Yeah, I got to do some more testing with it, so we'll see. But I might be joining you there with the Honda. So, for next season, do you have any plans in order to propel yourself to the next level? Start competing more with the D1 Gold guys.
I feel like it might be tough at the start because I'm actually going to be running with all new gear at the start of the season. So we're going to see how that goes, but I am excited for that. But I would like to continue to fight with, with some of these top guys here. At least, even if it's just for a race or two, it's great fun racing with those guys.
You want to share what gear you're getting, or is that proprietary?
No, I'm upgrading from a Thrustmaster T300 up to a Fanatic Gran Turismo DD with V3 pedals.
Oh, very nice.
A big upgrade that is long overdue.
I can tell you, I have the same thing. Look into getting a wheel almost instantly.
Go for it.
No, it's a bit of a downgrade from a T300, I'd say.
Is it really?
Yeah, the wheel itself. Yeah, the wheel itself is pretty abysmal.
Which wheel?
Like the actual wheel that comes on the Gran Turismo edition.
Oh, okay. No, I got the Porsche 911 GT3 wheel with the endurance button module and podium hub. So it's not the full Gran Turismo bundle. It's not that.
Okay.
I only got that base because I want the PlayStation compatibility. Otherwise, I would have got a CSL.
That makes sense.
That's the dream setup right there. So maybe to match that Porsche rim, might have to step into the Porsche next season.
I am swapping out. I'm swapping out a Ferrari rim for a Porsche rim.
Well, maybe you have to rub off the sticker, put a Honda sticker on there, something.
I think I
Put
might have
a,
to.
go into a car park and steal a badge off a car and paste it on there. I don't know. I can't be running with the mixed gear.
Oh, I've
But
been running it. I've been running it for ages. I've got a Ferrari rim and I haven't run a Ferrari at all in this game.
yeah, no. But yeah, it's been a great season. Great watching you. And great having you up here. Do you have any shout outs or anyone that contributed to your success this season?
Shout out to Matt Schwartz, my teammate. We had a good run, really good season. Secured P4 in the team championship, highest all silver team by a long ways, I think. So he had a great season.
Yeah, and you guys were 3 points off for the championship too, and just before the race. So we were
It was a tight
paying
battle.
paying pretty close attention to how that panned out, especially with some of the mix up in the grid there, like the beginning, middle of the race, where it looked like you guys had some incidents there. But yeah,
It was
very
a
tight.
scary ending for me because I ran the last 20 minutes on the verge of getting a drive through and I did not want one.
Eve. Yeah, there was a lot of other drivers in here tonight that were complaining heavily about the track cuts here. It's pretty bad. So,
What was the final
um,
tally? Was it 5 or 6? Was I right?
6.
6. I
Thanks.
was right.
Oh,
6 drive-throughs
Yeah.
tonight just from
I
the
think we
track
had
cuts.
7 in the practice race last night.
Yeah, and that was only 30 minutes. So,
Yeah.
ugh, yeah, it's a rough one out there. But yeah, we saw the strategy change quite a bit. A lot of people were just kind of not battling it out too hard, especially in the first sector where it's a little bit hard to follow. Like Diego was saying in his interview, um, and people are just kind of staying in a straight line and seeing if they can make something happen on a hairpin or in the third sector. That's the only really way that people were look like to me people were really able to make up many positions because it's just you step out of line even just a little bit and you're done. Um, yeah, I hope that gets changed, but not very hopeful. What I'm hoping is that maybe all of us can get together and pummel Tyler for putting in Cota into the into the track list here and make sure that never happens again. At least for the next 3 seasons, 4 seasons.
Maybe
As
we'll file a
difficult as it
class action
was,
lawsuit and then we'll all get free socks or something.
Yep, yep.
it was a light show and it was a party. So
Oh,
good way to end
that's
its
true.
season.
Yeah, that is a good way. That's a great way to look at it. That's your season D1 season championship party right there. Okay, they were
Exactly.
just celebrating a little bit early while you were still on the racetrack. But thank you so much, Chris, for joining us up here tonight. And congratulations on your finishing position, and congratulations on the D1 silver win. A huge honor here at SRA, especially with the pace that all these boys are going these days. So we look forward to seeing you up here many more times next season and in the following seasons. And hopefully you can look for another championship and another team championship.
See you then.
That's what we're open for. Thanks, guys.
No problem. See ya.
All right. Do we have anybody
Well,
left?
I don't know. Colin,
We already
sleep at
talked
the
to
wheel.
Chris and Dominic. What about Evan?
We could talk to Evan. I think that's it.
Cool.
All right, all right. Cool, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here today to watch the season finale here, season 4 SRA, race 8 here at Coda. Very interesting race. Awesome to see how the championship played out here. Huge congratulations again to all those folks who won the team championship and Chris and Diego, who both won their respective divisions. Um, and we'll be looking forward to seeing all of you guys tomorrow to watch the D2 and D3 race to completely finish out our season here. And for season 5, speaking of season 5, if you are interested in joining and if you liked some of what you saw here tonight, go to discord.gg/simracingalliance and join up today. We are adding 2 new divisions and we are actively recruiting. So if you like what you saw, even if you're like, man, I don't know if I can compete with those guys. We have divisions and drivers for all skill levels. So just join up, hop in, see where you wind up, and have a good time. We got a great community here. A lot of folks who are very dedicated to getting you faster. Um, you can also look at our website at simracingalliance.com. And to shout out some of our events here at SRA, we have on Tuesday, Wednesdays is our GT3 Division Series. On Thursdays, we normally have a coaching session with some of the D1 fast drivers. On Fridays, we are just started up our season 2 of our multi-class mayhem series. It's a fantastic time. You got GT3 cars and GT4 cars on track. And the season opener was just absolutely insane. I don't know if you participated in that, Jess, but there it was a packed grid,
Which season?
and it
Sorry.
was a season 2 of Multiclass Mayhem just started up. So
No, I did not.
it was. I'd highly suggest that you hop in if you got time on Fridays because it was a perfect split 50-50 GT3, GT4, and it was a madhouse out there. Um, and just a totally different form of racing, a little bit more casual, but still everyone's nice and competitive in there. Um, then on Saturdays, we're having our exhibition races. If you're not too confident to join in to any of our main series, you can hop in and say what's up to us on some of those exhibition races. A lot more casual. A lot of people are hanging out in general chat, just having a good time. I highly suggest you hop into those. Um, but yeah, I guess
I think
that
we have
concludes the
one
stream
more
here
order
tonight.
of business.
Oh,
Shout out all of our sponsors, right? I can't find the
I
list, but we need to.
I can do that. I can do that. I don't know what they did with the
Yeah,
list.
I thought I
There
knew
we
where
go.
it
I
was.
found it. All right. Can't forget about you guys. Our title sponsors are Roby Toady, Daehee Yun, Joshua Arnold, Evan Kim, Paulie Hartman, Thomas Greer, Dominic Duran, Zach Sky, Tyler James, Jacob Wolfman, Fazli Majid, Kyle McGinnis, Ramon Lorenzo. Unfortunately, this name doesn't show up for me, but I know it's Fazli Majid's girlfriend, um, at Matt Morrison. Then we also have our SRA sponsors. Daniel Gutierrez, Philip Menzies, Michael Jeffries, Dewal Bandari, Koa Dromo, Nate Allen, and Justin Rowley. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Thank you.
It's been awesome having the support, and it really helps us out here. Also, want to give a quick shout out to our people who subscribe to us on Twitch Prime. That is also an awesome little source here that helps us keep all the servers running and providing awesome new content for you guys. This league has been expanding at a insane pace. I joined here season 1. It was just one division. It was the fast guys on the same track with the absolute slowest guys. It was a madhouse. There was only like 100 people in the whole Discord, like 50 people, 60 people who were racing. And then now I think there's like 800 people in the Discord now.
It's
This season
nuts.
we had 200 participants, and now that was just with 4 division, and now we're getting 2 more divisions. So I would like to give a personal shout out to the admins, and especially Tyler James and Douglas Mitchell for making this all happen and being the start of something great here. 4 seasons, 2 seasons of commentating here, and looking forward to a 5th one or 3rd season commentating and a
Oh.
5th season here. So I can't count or say anything tonight, but yeah.
Yeah, my brain cells are getting fried too.
Yeah, I'm on my last cell over here. So
Yeah, I've
on
been
that
on mute
note,
for a while. Yeah.
oh
So
no.
that
Well,
was unfortunate.
Oh, I thought
well,
you would have
it
noticed you had the stream
happens.
open on your laptop.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. But yeah, on that note, folks, thank you so much for joining us here tonight, and that's signing off. Paulie Hartman
Jess
and
Osborne.
the main Jess Osborne, and then our third
Colin
man
Shea.
here tonight, Colin Shea. All right.
See you next time.